Hi, I'm CP, and in this review I'm going to be looking at an iconic classic. It's Guy Laroche Drakkar Noir. I'm very fond of classic fragrances, so I've been looking forward to reviewing Drakkar Noir for years, and finally here it is in my hand. Released in 1982, the nose of this fragrance was Pierre Wargnye, who is best known for Diesel, Only the Brave. That's these days anyway. This is probably his most famous creation because Drakkar Noir is such an iconic fragrance. It is representative of the 1980s in many ways. And the batch number of this one is very hard to read. It is 38N600. So without further ado, let's try it. So first of all, I completely forgot, I got overexcited. We use the Bespoke Unit Fragrance Formula with this review and any other fragrance review. You can download a blank copy of this quantifiable review matrix in the description below, so you can do your own fragrance reviews as well. Or you can head to the final written review of this fragrance and consult the final PDF and see what I'm talking about when I refer to the different subjects. So the head is very complex and is this huge bouquet of different aromas, and I worked hard to try and narrow it down to 4 different aromatic notes in each third. In the head I experienced mostly peppermint. Peppermint was very dominant there, this strong peppery freshness. Basil, so there was a little bit of aromatics in there. Lavender is certainly present in the head, as well as a softness from the bergamot. Going straight into the heart, we have some coriander, a little bit of spiciness but still quite green, cinnamon, some spiciness as well, followed through with juniper, specifically the leaves rather than the berries, quite zesty. And I would compare it to gin, but the alcoholic spirit I'm really thinking of here is absinthe, especially with the artemisia and the wormwood. You do have this slight bitter oiliness that is reminiscent of that particular leaf. Finally, the base consisted of an intriguing and complex foundation of some woody and vegetable notes. First of all, one of the most distinguishable notes was fir, this kind of pine freshness, earthy patchouli, some moist oak moss in there as well, and refreshing cedarwood. The base is very resinous overall, so it's not just the wood and the leaves, but you're really getting the sap and the resin, which is compared to the heart, was quite balsamic. You had all those spices, and you had that booziness of the absinthe that really came together and created this almost oozing, unctuous flavour that sits quite nicely on the skin. In terms of weight and strength, its overall performance, this is an aromatic fougère that gives you decent performance these days. In terms of sillage, it does leave a trail, but it's a little bit limited. The projection is quite focused. You have a very short small scent bubble, and the longevity, expect 4 to 5 hours of performance here. You'll need to top it up shortly afterwards. As you can see, I've got a small 50 milliliter bottle. It's quite portable, so this is a great one to carry around. As for the seasonality, this is a fragrance that is best suited for autumn and winter. So this would probably not perform very well in the heat. I think it's too balsamic, too thick, and would probably be a bit stifling when you're outside on a hot summer's day. As for the third-party feedback, this is an interesting one. A lot of people seem to feel that this is a dated fragrance, and I'd be inclined to agree. Some people have said that it really belongs in the 80s, although it's very much representative of that era. It kind of clashes with the trends today, as well as fragrances from that period and earlier that have aged much, much better. Unfortunately, I do agree to a certain extent. I feel that this is a fragrance that these days kind of struggle against a lot of the heavy hitters. Some people feel that it smelled a little bit odd as well. It seemed to have an unusual bouquet that didn't quite correspond to their expectations. Nevertheless, there were quite a few people that thought it was smooth, leathery, and quite pleasant. As for the impressions, which are usage thoughts, who should wear this and when, I think this would probably be a fragrance best suited to people in their late 30s, but early 40s as well would be a great option. 50s, perhaps not. This would be a fragrance that it still has a youthful energy to it. Somebody in their 50s would probably be better wearing something a little bit more mature. Meanwhile, the time of day, this is probably an evening, night fragrance, but it could be worn during the day as well, especially given that in terms of occasion, I believe that this is very much an office fragrance. Wouldn't wear it for formal occasions. Casually, it feels a little bit too imposing, which leads to the masculinity, which is quite strong. This isn't a moderate fragrance by any degree. Nevertheless, it is somewhat milder than some of those heavy hitters back in those days, which were those kind of works every time, 60% of the time. Finally, the presentation. I quite like the bottle, although I do admit it feels quite a throwback to the 1980s. The plastic cap is a little bit of a shame. It looks like something that belongs on an Old Spice deodorant. Nevertheless, I do like the black matte finish and the striking font here. The Atomizer, I wasn't fond of this. It's performing better now. It's very short in range, very narrow, but if you just, there we go, it water guns if you don't press it decisively enough. And I just got a full dose of Drakkar Noir and showing you that. The packaging, I have it right here. I actually like the packaging in many ways more than the bottle itself. I love that little red stripe, it's very retro, and this embossed finish as well. Classic box, makes for a nice gift for somebody who appreciates the old school things in life. Finally, in value, you cannot fault this. This is a $40 fragrance, especially through our favorite retailers that are linked below. This is a definitely easy buy and quite affordable as well. In conclusion, Drakkar Noir is perhaps a little bit dated. Nevertheless, it is a very influential fragrance, definitely one that you should at very least sample at least once in your life. Still, I would say that this could correspond to a lot of men's palates. Some may really enjoy its qualities, its characteristics, and that real, almost regal elegance that is kind of hidden behind its dark leather jacket exterior. This is a lovable rogue of fragrances. That being said, you might feel it a little bit too much of a throwback to the 1980s. Still, probably worth a try. You definitely need to try this, but whether you'll enjoy it is another matter. That's all from me today. I'm CP, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Any more men's lifestyle subjects like this, head to bespokeunit.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that notification button, and I'll definitely see you in the next video. Take care.